everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of Micro.wav Beatz with your host, the Loop Master grant4ore. What up? Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Uh, what we're gonna go ahead and do is because of editing and mistakes and all the stuff you guys don't see behind the scenes, me figuring this out, my setup is really weird because, like my laptop, you should be able to probably champion the settings that I have now. But for some reason, the program that I was using before isn't agreeing with me. So I had to kind of bootleg some shit. But it's working out, so I really don't give a shit. This is a little bit different, but it works. Uh, so what I did was I went to the Songs for Change sample pack that I bought, and I chose a Mario Luciano beat or sample, and I already started making some chops, and I'm gonna rearrange some shit to make it sound, you know, the way I want it to sound. So let's hear it out, see what I can rearrange, and go from there. That's a minute right there. Um, hmm. Naturally, this is going against my. How do I explain this? Uh, Naturally, I am trying to spice this up. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to figure out what I can do to spice this up. Just because I already hear, for myself, I hear a couple of inconsistencies that I just want to be able to pan it out in a manner that is palatable for me. I know you can't see me all the time. I apologize for that. If I remember to put myself on the screen, I'll do that. But let's keep it moving. All right, I think I do remember wanting to make that a little bit. That's so tight. Let's make that a little longer. Right there. I think that's where I'm going to start it right back up. I can save that for last. All right. Uh, I just want to make sure that sounds good. Just kind of hear what it sounds like now. Just because I threw that big boss drum loop because it's for me it's kind of like how do I explain it? It's one of those drum loops that I know that I can play. The same goes with the swag drum loop that I use all the time. I've actually recreated it before, but it's one that I go to for a slower kind of like R&B ish swag, but not necessarily R&B. Uh, yeah, that's how I can explain it. I don't know what happened to the camera. Uh, I don't know. I know that that sub got it going for a second. That's whatever though. Let's keep it moving. Quick technical difficulty apparently. Oh, that's so weak. This is not cool. That was kind of quick. Apologize for that. It might happen again. I'll just probably just leave it alone. I don't know how important it is for me to be on camera. It's more important for me to be audible rather than visible because I'd rather have the screen share be the main focus. I don't want you to hear my kids running in the house. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. But let's keep it moving. I know I kind of stopped at a weird spot. I kind of want to take it from right here and see where it goes. So now I do want to do it. What do I want to do? I haven't done this before, and the reason why I want to do it now is because it's a good time for me to try it. Uh, it's a way for me to avoid playing and still being able to add 808s to the beat. I mean, this is probably something that other people have thought of before. This isn't some genius thing that I'm gonna do right now. This is just me messing around with the wave audio and chopping it up on the actual painting. What do you call it? A template. Yeah. Versus playing it out on a MIDI. And I don't have that cool FL thing where I can just click fucking notes and have them be played. That's fucking awesome. I think that's cool as hell. But let me just keep moving. Find an 808 that I want. I want to do something. I want to do something. Just hear me out. First, I want to set this to like 67. Right? Nope. 65? 65 is not right. 64 looks better, but it's not right either. 63 is too much. 0.6. Nope. 0.7. That looks a lot better. I apologize if you guys can hear that noise. That's my Brady Bunch chilling in the mists. Alright, how does it sound at a 12? A 12. Alright. Alright. So I have a dot bounce in there. So I want to do something different. That's why. It's just like I'm trying to hear it. It's almost there. Come on, I can hear it. It's a 21. Which means ocho. Really? It was 7? I didn't realize that. Whoops. mistake that I do. All right, so far I've already laid out the 808s for the beginning part, and I'm just gonna probably copy and paste uh, this part right here to over here. All right, so I kind of like that where I simple, you know, didn't over like I didn't overdo it at all, but I didn't simplify it either. I kind of like just switched it up a little bit, but the rest of it is just a simple. Like I don't want to make this a beat battle beat. That's what a lot of these niggas need to understand. I'm not gonna switch it up and put a bunch of risers and do a bunch of drops and you know what I'm saying. The drops that I do are natural drops. You know what I'm saying. Like I'll take the drums out and little shit like that, but I want somebody to rap on this, and I already have an artist in mind whenever I do make beats like this. So this is one of those things where, uh, you know, I'm trusting my gut in that I'm arranging it so that somebody that I'm used to working with goes ahead and tries to jump on this. And you guys will see that once I work with you and I like get a feel for what your style is, I can like easily try to mimic it. I just have to kind of like get a feel for what it is that you do So like, uh, I've worked closely with Keith, obviously. So his style I've had down to where I even dubbed certain types of beats that I make for him nightmare beats. It's just um, a theme thing, and it works for us. So we could always find a formula and then make it work always, and it's awesome. All right, so let's hear this one more time. Fuck that was about. Alright, this shit's getting on my nerves. Just a little bit. I fucking hate it when it does this shit. Alright, let's try that again. something's boring me, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. All right. So for me, that's gonna be the decider. Right now, uh, I'm gonna go ahead and add one more thing to it, and that's just gonna be a hip hop EQ. Hopefully, it doesn't get too messed up. That's the first time for everything, right? Let me do something real quick, just because I have to. Yeah. So while this is doing that, I'll go ahead and I'll just kill a little bit of time. What I'm doing is basically just trying to make sure that I get all the noise that I don't want uh, out of there, and I'm also going to go ahead and just because I don't even have to hear this. I already know I want the monitor width on there. There's a reason why. Uh, let's turn my imager on. Turn the stereoizer on to 2. That might be a little just too. I don't know. That actually might be right on the money. All right. So, um, I'm gonna go ahead and call that one. Just call it. Let's call it. Uh, it sucks because I had a lot of technical difficulties even during the recording of this episode. But let's just keep it moving and make sure that we, just maintain positivity because I was able to try something new and actually make it work. Uh, I'm gonna call that shit the lazy boy 808. Uh, it isn't necessarily lazy. I'm not trying to say it's lazy. I'm just saying like putting the wave and painting that way rather than playing it out on a MIDI is actually not a bad idea. You can see the waveforms and all that stuff when you're working with audio. I convert all of my MIDI to audio. I'm gonna continue to do that just because it eats up less of my CPU when I'm trying to process all this stuff. And right now, I don't know why my computer's acting janky, but uh, it's probably because of the recording equipment. But here, let's recap the producers that were utilized in this bad boy. All right. So since this is all loops all the time, the only thing that I will say that I didn't use that was loops was an 808, but basically I just used a waveform and chopped it up and pitched it to the notes and all that stuff. So the first loop that we have is by Mario Luciano. The loop is called Ocean Views. It's off of that Sounds for Change pack that I talked about. This next loop is a perk loop, and that's from the homie Tony Swing. That perk is awesome. Here, I'll play that real quick. I don't know if you can hear that without the ridiculousness of the computer. The third loop and the 808 were provided by the homie. Hopefully one day I get to meet this dude and work with him closely. It would be awesome if he even like appreciates my work, just because I think his shit is so dope. Decap, Drums That Knock, Volume 8. I love the drum loops. I love the 808s. I love the kicks and the snares on that motherfucker. He also has like shouts in there that are awesome as ad libs. All of that stuff is really cool. Check it out. All right, so now, lastly, we're gonna go ahead and try to name this bad boy. All right, so just because this is how we do, think of a name. Okay, so I have a really hard time with this one. I'm having a really hard time with this one. So let's just get simple with it. The sample is called Ocean Views. Ocean Views, Atlantic. TransAtlantis. TransAtlantis. All right. So the episode is going to be called TransAtlantis. Take it whatever way you want to. I really don't care. I don't have a problem with anyone. Uh, TransAtlantis, you know what I'm talking about, transportation wise, but you can take it, like I said, whatever way you want to, because I am an open supporter of the LBGTQ community. So it is what it is. Like I've said numerous times. Uh, I think that about wraps it up, folks. This was a good episode. Just because I worried less about what I looked like on camera, and I worried more about what it was that I was going to approach in the episode. And my thing is, I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. I'm figuring out, how my volumes. I'm trying to figure out communication, which is key. And I just also want to get into a groove. The laptop frying on me kind of like threw me back. And it took me a little longer to come back and make an episode. I did promise 1 to 2 episodes a week, so I'm going to uphold myself to that as well. This is the first episode of the week, obviously. The second one coming soon. Once I get things figured out, which programs I want to use for recording and things like that, I'll be able to basically deliver and focus more on my approaches and the content that I'm going to deliver to you guys. So the description again, we got grant4ore. So I can't see. Sorry, guys. Okay. And let's set all of this 68.50. Now let's see how long this takes. The internet's been acting really funny. Uh, it's probably going to take a long time, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody taking the time to go ahead and give me a chance. These beats they're not easy to make, especially on the spot. I feel very pressured and to deliver and hopefully, present something that's palatable. That's my biggest concern. I want to be able to make something that's good on the fly at all times. So I got to keep practicing this process so that I can make it as seamless as possible. But again, guys, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, again, this is Ep.5, TransAtlantis of Micro.wav Beatz with your host, the Loop Master, grant4ore. See you guys next time.